Good morning, everybody. We are going to do a little bit of a redo with lesson 2. So our 2 I can statements of today is I can use skip counting by 5s to tell time on a clock. So prepare to do a lot of skip counting with me today. And the second one is I can show how the clock can be used as a number line. So in a little bit, we're going to be using our desk to make 2 really, really big number lines. So that means that right now, all you need on your desk is one dry erase marker. And as this video goes, it's projected on the screen right now, and it's going to be paused every time you need to write something or every time you need to get some materials out. So right now, let's pause the video, get a dry erase marker out, and make sure our desks are totally cleared. Okay, so I told you to prepare for some group counting. So we're gonna do two skip countings. So the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna count by 7, starting with 7, go all the way to 35. Now I want you to notice when we jump from 28 to 35, what happens. All right. Everybody with me. I'm going to pause between the numbers because I know 7 is kind of a big jump from where we were skip counting before. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. All right. And then we're going to do 8s to 40, and I want you to notice what happens when it jumps from 32 to 40. All right. So starting with 8, everybody, and I'm going to take a little bit of that extra pause again. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. All right, now I'm not sure if you've noticed, but when we were skip counting by 7s, we weren't, the numbers that we were landing on weren't like an even 0 or an even 5. I shouldn't say even because 5 isn't even, but 5 and 10 kind of go hand in hand when we're talking about the clock. And when we jump from 28 to 35, that landed on a 5. And we jump from 32 to 40, that landed on a 0. That's going to come into play in just a little bit. All right. So when we look at a clock like this, we're going to start at 12 and we're going to count by 5 minutes on the clock. So each of these intervals, each of these chunks is 5 minutes. So when we jump from the 12 to the 1, that's 5 minutes. The 1 to the 2, that's 10 minutes. So let's do that together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. All right, so this little hand shows the hour and this big hand shows the minutes. So if it's 12 o'clock, we're getting ready to eat lunch and it's 12 o'clock. Both of these hands would be on the 12. But as this goes clockwise, the big hand goes around the clock, the time is going to change. So this big hand is on the 3. Let's count down, or let's count up to see what time that is. So we have 12:05, 12:10, 12:15. So anytime it's something like 12:15, 1:15, 2:15, that is called quarter after. Say it with me, quarter after. Okay, and then you can see in this example, as we go through 12 o'clock, the hour hand changes a little bit. As the time gets later, it's going to start creeping over to 1 o'clock, but unless it's all the way on 1, it's not quite 1 o'clock. So we see that the minute hand is all the way over at the 6. So let's count how many together. Let's count how many minutes it is when it's over by the 6. Starting at 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That means it is 12:30. And when telling time, this is also called half past because it's half it's half past on the clock. It's halfway done. So repeat that with me. Half past. Okay. The next one we can see, this is probably the time you're probably outside at recess. This shows 12:45. So let's count all the way to 45 together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Now, once you get past the 6, you have quarter past, you have half past. Now we have something called quarter to, because it's 15 minutes to 1 o'clock. It's a quarter of the clock to 1 o'clock. So say that with me, quarter to. And then the next one, you can see that once the clock makes another quarter turn, it's all the way at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to show you just with this pencil. It's kind of like if you split the clock almost into a pizza, and this is a quarter, and that makes it half. This is another quarter, this is another quarter. So there's 4 quarters in the clock. And when that minute hand is on the 3, you're on the first quarter. And so that's why you say quarter past. When it's on the 6, well, that's half of the clock eaten up, so that's half past. When it's on the 9, that's almost completing your little pizza here, your clock, so that's quarter to. All right. On your boards, I gotta figure out how to put this pencil away. Oh, come on. Let's put this. Okay. I figured out how to put the pencil away. I'm just not sure if I can get it back. So, but I'm not sure if I need it again. So, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do the minute counting. So again, you got to prepare for a lot of skip counting today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to count by 6 minutes all the way to half an hour. So we're counting by 6 minutes until the clock would, the minute hand on the clock would be at the 6. So let's count together. Ready? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Stop, because a half hour is 30 minutes. So when it says count to the half hour, that's 30 minutes. Now we're going to pick up and we're going to start where we left off on 30, and we're going to count all the way to the hour. All right. 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. So we're going to stop there because there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Now we're going to count by 3 minutes, but we're only going to count to the quarter past the hour. So we're only going to count to, remember, quarter past is when we got to 15 minutes. So when we get to 15, we're going to say stop. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, stop. Okay? And then we're going to pick back up at 15, and we're going to go all the way to 30, or the half hour. So starting at 15. 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. And we're going to stop because 30 minutes is a half hour. This time, we're going to count by 10 minutes, counting up to 1 hour, and 1 hour is 60 minutes. So like we saw on that clock the first time. So starting with 10, everybody. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, stop. Okay, last one we're going to do is we're going to count by 9-minute intervals. So I'm going to give you some think time in between here because we have not yet counted by 9s. We're going to count to 45, and then we're going to stop. Okay, everybody. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. All right. Now, you're probably wondering when you're going to use your dry erase marker, and we don't quite need to use it for the application problem, but we don't need to use it to solve it, but I'm going to have you write down the application problem on your desk. And so since I can't get that little pesky marker back, I'm just going to insert a text box, and I'll just write it down with you. So this says Christine has 12 math problems for homework. I'm going to highlight where it says that. It takes her 5 minutes. Oops. it takes her 5 minutes to complete each problem. How many minutes does it take her to finish all of them? Well, we have two things. We have the total. The total is, think about it for a second. Shout it out when you think you know the total number of math problems. Okay, if you said 12, you would be correct. So we're going to write down 12. I'm going to make it a lot bigger. All right, so she has 12 total math problems, and then it takes her 5 minutes to complete each problem. So I want to know how many total minutes it takes her to complete all 12. So what I could do is I could add 5 minutes up 12 times, or I could say 12 times 5 equals. So we're going to skip count by 5 12 times and come up with an answer. All right, so hold up your fingers. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, I should have 5 fingers up. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Now I have 10 fingers up. And then we're going to start. So remember, you have 10 fingers and then start fresh. 55, 60. So all in all, I held up my 12 fingers and I had to stop at 60 minutes once I got to the 12. And we know that 60 minutes also equals 1 hour. Okay, on your desk, I want you to pull out your dry erase marker, and you're going to draw two pretty big number lines. So you're going to want to make sure that when you draw your first number line, it's nice and neat at the top of your desk with room to write underneath it. Okay, room to write dashes. And you want to make sure that you're not writing too big because you're going to be making a second number line before you erase anything. So I'm going to give you, again, pause the video so you have time. I'm going to give you a few minutes to draw a number line. This clock, this is a circle, but if it were to fall open, it would look like this number line counting by 5s. So you're going to make a number line and each dash is going to count by a 5. So I have the example right here, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I've stopped at 60 or 1 hour. So draw this number line, label it just as I have until you get to 60. Make sure it's nice and neat, and unpause it when you're ready to move on. Okay, so now that you have that number line drawn, when we take a look at this, if I were talking about like 3 o'clock and I said, all right, at 3 o'clock, it takes me, so 3 o'clock would be right here before it comes to the 5 at the 0. If I say, okay, I leave school at 3 o'clock and it took me, and I got home at 3:25. All right, well, how many times did I have to skip count to get there? 3:05, 3:10, 3:15, 3:20, 3:25. So on your problem set, it's going to be asking you to label within an hour all of the times within those 5 minutes. So we're going to draw a second number line. And our second number line, we're going to start at 5 o'clock. And you're going to need to draw a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lines on your number line. Pause for a second. Don't fill it in, but write 5 o'clock, so 500 on the first part of your number line. Okay, so counting by 5s, we have 5 o'clock, and then on our next one, we'd have 5:05. Then we'd have 5:10. The next one, we would have 5:15. So it's just like I'm counting by 5s. I'm starting at my 0, and the 0 hour in this case is 5 o'clock. 5:05, 5:10, 5:15. All right, I want to see if you can make the rest of that number line. So pause the video for a second. I'm going to check and complete it with you, but don't keep playing the video. Pause it, fill in the rest of it, and then unpause so you can watch the rest. Okay, so after 5:15, you should have 5:20, 5:25, this is a bit more challenging than I thought. Okay, 5:35, or I'm sorry, 5:30, 5:35, 5:40, 5:45, 5:50, 5:55, and then we're not going to write 5:60 because 60 minutes is an hour. Once you're past 5:55, it just goes 5:56, 5:57, 5:58, 5:59, and then you're at the next hour. So that last one should be 6 o'clock. So there is no 60 minute. 59 would be the last minute, and since we're counting by fives, 59 doesn't exist. So the last part should end with 6 o'clock. So comparing both your number lines, you see that when the clock falls open, just like it's in chunks, when the clock falls open, it's a number line counting by 5-minute intervals. But we did so much skip counting today. I mean, this could be in any minute intervals. You could have made this, you can make the number line into 10-minute intervals. You could have made the number line in 6-minute intervals. But we're working with the fives today. And then on your next number line, all you had to do is plug in that hour with the skip counting by 5. Okay. You may go ahead and erase your desk. We are going, when you are ready, we're going to pull out this problem set, and then you're going to Zoom call me, and we are going to work through this problem set together. See you guys in a little bit.